Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Purpose of my presentation will be to inspire and show one practical project realized by help of leader. And yeah, let's go ahead. Can everybody see a presentation? Is it?
Yeah, it works perfectly.
Good. And the story will be about mobile application or technologies for beekeeping. I myself a beekeeper for more than 10 years now, but when let's say I came from also technology world. I was working for many years for one of Telia Sonera group companies in Latvia called La Telecom, and with technology background, but let's say most of experience lately came for business process outsourcing, process streamlining, and shared service establishment. And by this content in mind, working with bees in my apiary, I thought maybe in beekeeping we also could do something better. And this is how this idea about application came. And what is a challenge for our customers, or let's say for me as a beekeeper? There are also benefits what technologies can bring to beekeeping, but to start to use technologies, you also or benefit from that, you need to enter some data to log something in to see what happens, to make, let's say, some conclusions of history, and therefore it means just switching from paper to digital. Nothing new, but a lot of beekeepers also, they still hanging some paper notes, and and this is how keep records. And why? This is the second challenge, because data entry in some kind of app is very difficult in apiary. When you have sticky hands or fingers, there is honey, propolis on your fingers. Sometimes you wear gloves, and it's not so easy to take those records. And this was a challenge, how to let's say jump to digital world. And my story also will be more about practical things, because the aim or idea was to make something for beekeeper, not just scientific, but really get a proof of concept and something useful to get out of it. And luckily also there is a connection with a leader program I will show later. But initially, this is idea. You see here is a notebook. Sometimes also beekeepers say that there are some ice age or stone age marks on beehives. Then you something record with stones, but then you forgot what it means. and no any information sharing, because how then you need to explain what means those different signs to other colleague, or if somebody would like to substitute you. And the vision was to get an intuitive mobile app. Shortly about idea. How we started, or what was the beginning? I thought, that's definitely somebody should already have done something in the market. And it was 2017, beginning of 18th. I was looking for some already made applications, and what I found that it's quite hard to enter data. This is more scientific approach what is available for those apps. Always you need to be online, but your bees are not always there may be somewhere in the woods where is no mobile connection, and it's a challenge. Therefore some offline mode should be. Interface was difficult, and also those were some tiny apps just starting, claiming up with first users, and I thought, maybe I can take one more ticket, let's say, go for a new app. And there was a question, does somebody else needs that? Maybe it's just my idea, and therefore it was important to understand what beekeepers needs. At the same time was a question about funding, how to start it. Therefore there was idea to prove the idea, and also get some funding to start it. And definitely what I'm showing here, there are, let's say, two modes of beekeeper also. One is when you are in the apiary, busy with bees, with honey, with those gloves and sticky fingers, and you need somehow to get this information. And second part is you are at home or in the winter, just planning your next season, and you would like to analyze some data and take some decisions based on data. And this was somehow clear, but from also a bit technical part, and we understood on bottom, you see that my background before working also with call centers, like a one of shared service approach or outsourcing, that speech to text is developing, and also I can speak in apiary and just get text in my mobile phone out. And also maybe there could be some third-party service which can be added. Therefore, the architecture should be so that it's good for beekeeper, just for records, but also it's open when we can use some other data like weather forecast and etc. And have a nice interface to get it. Then the question was, I mentioned, is it just an idea or somebody else needs that? And we also carried out a survey. I met Beekeepers Association and I told there is idea, what do you think about it? And can we make a survey and ask beekeepers? In Latvia, we have close to 4,000 beekeepers in association. The questionnaire was sent out, and actually, luckily, more than 10% responded. And what we found, the question was at the beginning, actually understand, does beekeepers keep records or not, and how keep? And what we found that actually almost 90% are doing record keeping. Just the difference is some of beekeepers doing regular and some of beekeepers doing not so regular, but still keeping records. But every 10th don't keep records, and it's quite useful and understandable for other industries as well when nobody is equal. But it was important to understand. Then the second question was, would you like to use your records in digital? And there were two main obstacles beekeepers mentioned. It should be easy and effective to use, and it should bring some benefits, tangible benefits. It's not just a science, and it somehow also made the focus of project down to get some, let's say, practical results for beekeepers. And it was prerequisite what said beekeepers. But what was the most exciting for me, actually, we also asked one question, would you like to participate in a pilot project in case we are going to implement something? And actually every fifth or almost or more than 100 beekeepers voted that they would like to be part of this project. And this already gave a motivations, and there is not just a survey and some data, but there are already people who would like also to follow and to see how happens. And it was like a boost for a project. Then the question is how to start, where to get funding for a project. And luckily, actually, I'm also doing my beekeeping in a rural area. My farm is in rural area, and then somehow it went out that it's also IT service, let's say, for beekeepers out of, let's say, in rural area. And then we set up a company and applied for leader funding and started a project. Actually, the initial investment was 34,000 euros. What was necessary to make this nice first phase, let's say, application working, and we got funding from LEADER program, and also worked with one of development banks in Latvia, which also supports new business and also business in rural areas, Altum, and therefore got funding. Now we already refinanced this Altum part, and we just and completed leader part, and the first version was out in the market in 2018. It looks already quite long time ago, maybe, but this is first version, voice and for Android phones. Then the second phase was we went ahead and found from also recommendations of users that there could be some other ideas how to use also so-called hive tags or small chips on hives to trigger some records, not with voice, not with finger, but just to, let's say, scan. And like in shop, you have near cash machine scanning some food and counting, similar. And currently we already in third development phase, and actually finally also proposing to our beekeepers using iPhones beaking. Before it was just for Android, and also added the first sensors to the app. And currently we have more than 10,000 downloads of app and a bit more than 3,000 active users, which is quite significant already, because I mentioned that in Latvia we have close to 4,000 beekeepers, and actually, yeah, those 300 to 400 we have in Latvia, 350, a bit more plus we have currently in Latvia users, but most of users are even outside Latvia, and we made it multilingual and growing now in Baltics and a bit in Scandinavia, and it's how we're developing. But the beginning, it was leader. It was a good structure of leader project to prepare a proposal to compete for this. It made a structure which was also business oriented, and I think it was part of success of this project. And a short movie. I saw the agenda. There is movie, but I will show one different, just a few seconds, and to see, and then we can come to questions. It's in YouTube, I hope.
Bees play a huge role in preserving our ecosystem. The number of bee colonies has increased in recent years thanks to new and small beekeepers. To support beekeeping knowledge sharing and efficient care for well-being of bees, a project Beeking was started in 2018, and second development phase finished on May 2020. Currently, more than 500 beekeepers use Beeking app on everyday basis.
Yeah, this video was made on 2020. Now it's a bit already old, but yeah, this is what.
Okay, Beeking. Removed honey frame, added honey super, made a varroa treatment,
and are able to plan and track bee colony well-being activities, as well as to share the knowledge of it. The approach is starting small and local, and then transferring knowledge and services to the Nordic countries and Central Europe, and collaborating then between all territories.
Let's continue to follow beekeepers' traditions and use latest technologies together.
That shortly about project. Maybe some questions or later questions.